Currently, the temperature is 73 degrees under fair skies. The forecast for your area. Expect fair skies Tuesday through Thursday with temperatures in the 80s on Tuesday.
Of course, a headline tonight in the Tropical Update is Tropical Storm Bill in the Gulf of Mexico. With Bill at this hour, the location is 26.3 north, 91.3 west. Bill is moving briskly to the north at about 14 miles per hour. It's not a real well-organized storm, but some pretty good thunderstorm activity, especially north and east of the center of circulation. Any warnings in place now? Well, yes, there's a tropical storm warning from High Island, Texas to Pascagoula, Mississippi, including the Mississippi Delta and Lake Pontchartrain. And to review the tropical storm warning definition, it means tropical storm force conditions are expected within 24 hours or less. Now, on the other hand, we have, although this is a tropical storm warning, we also have a watch. It's a hurricane watch in a small part of the Louisiana coast from Intercoastal City to Morgan City, Louisiana. And the watch means hurricane conditions are possible within 36 hours. So here's the path we expect Bill to follow to the north. And if this track holds true, then landfall could occur sometime Monday afternoon. Now, there will be a lot of wind and some storm surge flooding, 3 to 5 feet perhaps, so those of you in coastal sections of Louisiana and Mississippi should be prepared to move to higher ground to escape the potential flooding. But perhaps the biggest impact eventually with Bill could be the tremendous rainfalls over the southeast in areas that have had just a tremendous amount of rain the past couple of months. Birmingham, Alabama last month, for example, 17 inches of rain. Parts of southern Alabama have already had 14, 15 inches of rain so far in the month of June. So with that in mind, flood watches are pretty extensive, covering a lot of Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and southwest sections of Alabama. Here's Bill. Most of the moisture will be north and east of the center of circulation as the tropical storm moves inland, bringing in potential heavy rain and flooding. Meanwhile, to the west over Texas, where rain is needed, the western side of Bill's circulation will not be as wet. So you folks in South Texas are not expected to get tremendous amounts of rainfall. On the national map, we see Bill in the Gulf. We see a front hanging out tonight from southern Kansas to the eastern Great Lakes. Out ahead of that front in the northeast, there have been some strong thunderstorms in Vermont, and now some strong storms rumbling through the Adirondacks of upstate New York with small hail, heavy rain, and gusty winds. Could be stormy for a time in New England, but overall it should be a pleasant start to the week in New York City, for example. Here in the south, once again, Bill out in the Gulf, second named storm of the season. Strong thunderstorms west of Amarillo along I-40 and heavy rain coming into the lower Mississippi River Valley. All sorts of rainfall on Monday. The heaviest and most concentrated will be in the lower Mississippi River Valley as Bill approaches the coast, but pop-up storms in Atlanta, Memphis, and possibly Dallas. Meanwhile, through the Midwest, scattered showers in Indiana, parts of Ohio. But as the front sags south and high pressure
forecast for your area. On Wednesday, we'll have temperatures in the mid-80s. Under sunny skies. Expect a chance of thunderstorms on Thursday and Friday.
10 minutes to the hour now. Time for the tropical update. The last time that we had a tropical storm impact the United States in June was 2 years ago when Tropical Storm Allison brought heavy rainfall to Texas. And the folks in Texas can tell you just how much rain you can get from a tropical storm. In fact, rain is going to be the primary threat, we think, of Bill as it makes its way northward. Probably the center of the storm making landfall later on today, sometime in the early afternoon hours. However, the rainfall has already made its way inland, and most of the rain, most of the thunderstorm activity is actually to the north and to the east of the center, which is right about here. The center still offshore by about 130 miles south of Morgan City, Louisiana. Winds in the center about 50 miles an hour, and it's moving toward the north at 14 miles an hour. Tropical storm force winds have already been felt around the New Orleans area, about 39-mile-an-hour winds. We anticipate seeing those winds from Pascagoula, Mississippi, back toward east of High Island, Texas. This is the area where we could see tropical storm force winds, thus tropical storm warnings in that area, and a small area of a hurricane watch in anticipation of Bill intensifying a little bit more before the center makes landfall. The rain, though, will extend all the way inland into Mississippi, into Alabama. In fact, we're seeing heavy rainfall right now, continuing around Jackson County, Mississippi, where over 9 inches has fallen already since yesterday evening. Also, Mobile being pounded with heavy rainfall right now. In New Orleans, you can expect to see rainy and windy conditions throughout the day. Flash flood watches up from Louisiana into southern portions of Mississippi and Alabama, at least an inch, but probably more like 5 to 8 inches of rainfall throughout this area. The rest of the Atlantic looking pretty clear. Kim?
And now it's time to check in with Heather Tesh of your weather today. Good morning, Heather.
Well, good morning.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, I understand that you'll be focusing on the biggest weather story of the day, Tropical Storm Bill.
Well, you bet, Kim. Storm analyst Dr. John Nieswell, he's going to give us an up-to-the-minute information on the second tropical storm of the season. And our travel expert, Alexandra Steele, will tell you how Tropical Storm Bill is going to affect your travel plans if you're heading to the Gulf Coast. But first, Kim, I understand you're going to tell us how rainy conditions have dampened the shopping spirit.
That's right, Heather. Heavy rain and cool temperatures kept many of you inside this spring, and that drowned sales expectations for major department stores. Linda Bell has details in the Bloomberg Money Barometer.
Good morning. In the past week, several companies said their businesses were hurt by wet and cool spring weather. May department stores fired about 1,500 employees to cut costs amid a sales slump. Cold and wet weather and concerns about jobs have kept some shoppers from buying summer clothing at the owner of Lord & Taylor and Filene's. Meanwhile, Heineken said its beer sales are down because of a global